Hello, how are you? This is JilliBling. Today's project is all about staying warm. I love me a good sweater. Just the other day I was going through my closet. It's like, okay, I need to wear all this stuff in the back because if I don't wear it, I need to get rid of it. And I pulled out this Land's End, I'll wear it tomorrow, like a burgundy color sweater, but it's like that thick Sherpa material. I love that thing. Where did it come from? But that got me thinking about sweaters. Therefore, I'm doing this project. But there's nothing like a good, warm, fuzzy, look at that, fuzzy, cozy sweater. So here's today's project. And I'm mixing together Stay Warm, Stamp Set, and Snowflake Kisses. Some of the snowflakes, these right here. And on the inside, these are from Snowflake Kisses in the words. So it's kind of a combo of the two items. So of course we'll be using this. And wonderful, wonderful words, especially if you're a little bit cold. Traditional labels is for this label right here. And of course, Snowflake Kisses. Look at all these snowflakes. This is a good corner snowflake. Bigger ones, medium, and then the ones we're using today are these little ones right here. And then this long bar of snowflakes is for the inside. But we'll do that in just a minute. But then, of course, there is, look at that. So this die, if you put it on a quarter sheet of paper and you cut it out, the snowflakes stay intact except for the circle. So these edges, they don't cut it out. They let the paper stay all as one piece, and then you pop out all the tiny little pieces. I can't wait to use this. And then for an extra layer, you could use that circle. And then you can have the bar, which we're using, this one right here. And they all have the cutest little snowflake detail. Can you see that there on the edges? Cute, cute, cute. Embossing folder. This one is, I think it's called Glass and Garden. And to me, when I looked at that close up from the very beginning, I thought it looked like icicles. But there's another one, another embossing folder. I think it's called So Swirly, and to me that, or Gentle Waves, and to me that looks like drifting snow. Okay. So we will also be using this new ribbon that you could get now, white, fluffy trim. Look at that. Can you see how fluffy it is and soft? This side is awesome. Looks very sweater-like. I'd like a sweater made out of that. And then this side is just utility. It ain't nothing to look at. Nothing terrible. But this side, that's the winner. So we'll use this. This paper. This paper is for the inside of the card because unless you have brand new cutting plates, your paper will probably get little lines on it. Excuse me. So I put this over the top just to protect it, but we'll do that in just a minute. Okay. Iridescent pearls for just a little bit more add-on. We have snowflakes and the pearls. Tear tape to hold the ribbon. So here it is. Glass and Garden. So to me, that almost looks like icicles. Maybe they should be going downward. Could this whole card go sideways? No, the designer paper has trees on it. Soft waves. This is the one I want to use today. Our papers and pieces, and because this is a polymer stamp set, we'll need our Stampin' mat, foam mat. So we'll get to that in a minute. So this is the designer paper for the trees paper on this card. So this paper to me is kind of a sleeper, just because when you get the package of paper, to me, that's all I saw. I love it and everything, but to me that's almost definitely fall, maybe Halloween-like, and I'm like, oh no. But look on the other side. Look at those stripes. I was thinking that would be nice with this card. I couldn't fit in much more texture, so I'll have to save it. And what another nice thing is you get 4 sheets of 3 different papers. So there's the 4 sheets of this one. This one at first I thought was candy corn, but if you look close up, that is acorns. And then of course on this side is what we're using, and it has Christmas trees. This paper is the other in the package. And I use this for the manger scene. A child is born, I used that last week, but there's that page. And then there is this exploring adventure page, but it's great paper. And this is called, let me flip it over, Weekend Adventure paper. And then we'll use this paper, this pattern, and this is called Woven Textures paper. And Peaceful Garden Glimmer paper. This comes in 3 different colors of glimmer paper. There is, they call this light green. I think I looked it up. Oh no, here it is. Blue, dark gray, soft green. To me that looks like cloud cover, but they call it soft green. I was gonna put that on and I think it would work, but somehow I love this dark gray. To me, that looks like Secret Sea. But let me show you all the colors all at once. Maybe. Here it is. Look at that. Pretty, pretty. Well, so we'll be using this one for today's project, but these are nice too. Okay, time to get busy stamping. Okay, so I'm looking at the glimmer paper. So I'll cut one of these, and this is just a bunch of snowflakes. 2 tiny ones, a medium one, and a medium small one. So I'll cut out those. Here's a way that they fit, it fits on here pretty good. Just like that. And this thin strip is to cut out 6 tiny little snowflake. I guess they could be flour too, but to cut those out. So I have them right here ready to roll, and we'll use these in just a minute. Paper, this is to stamp the hat and 2 sets of the gloves. So I'll do my embossing buddy. Versamark, the hat, and these get to be fussy cut. So 4 little gloves. So I'll put that in white powder, white wow powder, and heat that. Hold on. I'm not sure where my white powder is, so I gotta start a new one. But that's okay. The wow powder is really nice. I didn't get powder right there. It's powder now. Or maybe I touched it, I don't know. looks good. So this needs to be cut out, and I'm going to do it really fast, probably a little bit closer than I naturally would go, but just a little bit of a border. So if you don't like cutting, it might be challenging, this card. I don't mind a little bit of cutting. I usually take it over to the recliner, and I'm in my recliner every night from 8 until 9. So in that hour, I'm either working on a project like this, cutting stuff out, or just playing silly little games. I look forward to that hour. One. So the project, I was thinking, oh, I should do like a red hat or something, like a pop of color. But I didn't. It's kind of neutral color. It just got me thinking. I participated in a swap, and I don't know if I did it. Uh-oh. Well, so this set, when you look at the front, let me pull out the cover. They call it reversible, because see how you could see this and that? So if you took the stamp, turned it upside down, you could fill in the stamp with a little bit of color. And even with the socks and the heart, I haven't used that too much. Okay, number 2. They're going to get done really quick here now. And then the sweater is stamped on the designer paper, and it makes it look like a woven, a knit with crumb cake and white, kind of like a linen type look. Okay, all done cutting. Okay, let's start building the card. Excuse me. So, here is the base paper. Just fold it in half. And then next is, I have 2 pieces of white. One piece perfectly layers on the black, so that's the inside. This is for the words. This is for stamping the sweater. See how it has that little print in the background? These can be attached, but before they're attached, I'm going to use this piece of black to cut out this label shape. So now they can be attached. Because it gets completely covered, so it's okay if there's a hole out of it, as long as it doesn't drive you crazy. I had one stamper who says, no, I can't do that. Okay. But I like being frugal sometimes. Okay, I'm looking at the 2 black sides, trying to get them about the same size. Okay, that's ready. And this piece is just a little bit smaller. Oh, and the paper cut sizes are in the video description. So I'm going to texture this piece, which is just a little bit smaller than the card front. And I'll use the line as a guide, because you never want to put your paper way up at the top because there's no embossing up there. So I'll cut that out. Okay, so this goes here, here. This die is really fun. Let me show you. So there it just looks like a regular die, but look at this little edge. And even on the corners, there's more of that little detail. Can you see that there? Isn't that fun? Okay, and that is traditional labels. Did I have that here? It's called traditional labels. And it's a wonderful die set. Okay, so there's that. Let's stamp the words and the sweater. So the words are "Let It Snow" in Memento. Okay, and then the sweater is again in Memento, right on top of this designer paper. Isn't that cute? So this will cut out the "Let It Snow," and then I'll hand cut this, fussy cut this. So here are those pieces. And since we have the foam mat out, let's stamp the inside in Memento. Well, I think I did show you traditional labels. Look at all those labels. And they're all really pretty like that. So on the inside, I'm going to stamp the same words, which are, "May the chill of winter be warmed by love and friendship." Okay. Stampin' is done. Okay, where is this die? I'm going to put right here at the bottom. Remember how I had that piece of scratch paper? I'm going to use washi tape to hold it in place. This little scratch paper here, just plain white. I'm just going to lay it over the top and see how it covers most of the top, but it will protect it from getting that lovely, unless you have brand new pads. If you do, you don't have to do this step. But otherwise it might look like that. It might even pick up some of the debris. So that's going to make all the difference. Okay, so I'm going to run that through the machine. Here it is. Okay, it's time to build this. This is inside. So I'll attach this piece of designer paper with the black edges to the textured paper. Because the paper is textured, I'm going to be just a little heavy on the glue. And at this point, I'm looking at how much is right here and here, making sure that they're about the same. Okay. Then that ribbon, I'll wrap it around and attach it with tear tape. Can you see how squishy this is? It's fun stuff. Warren likes to come in my room and look around, especially when he's up high. It's a different view from when he's low. And I did a little video of him just getting into everything. I'll put it on, I think it's like 3 minutes. Video. That's just a picture. Look at that little bundle. Well, I thought I did a video. Oh, there it is. So I will attach this ribbon using tear tape. So I'll take off about an inch piece, put it on the underside. Then lift off the paper. And I'll wrap this around. And I'm trying to leave like maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than that, just so I could see the pattern of the designer paper. Have that go down to here. See how you could see those trees? Then put it in place, and then I'll put another piece of tear tape over the top just to kind of hold it in place. And I'm not going to take the paper off of this one. A little bit bigger than what I have there. Attach that, make sure it's good and stuck. And then I'll put dimensionals on this textured white paper, just because if I were to try to attach it with glue, see the thickness of the ribbon? It would just create a bump. Therefore, dimensionals it will be. Ribbon, ribbon, ribbon. Okay. Now attach this. Ooh, it's pouring outside. And then this label gets attached with dimensionals too, just because if it's trying to bridge the ribbon, it needs the height. Maybe one more. So that will go right about here. Okay, and then the sweater will be attached just with glue. a little bit of an angle. I want to see the label. The label's really pretty. And I'll put a dimensional under here. Oop, I think it started again. Curious little boy. Oop, has to go lower. Okay. And then the word label gets attached with glue and a dimensional under the end. Maybe two little ones. Then glue goes right onto the sweater. And the hat, here's the hat. So I'm looking at the sample here. It's going to get dimensional, dimensional. I didn't put one under there. Okay, that's better. Okay, back to the hat. Maybe a couple of mini dimensionals. That could go on right about there. Okay, so for the mittens, there'll be two on the outside. So just thinking about placement. How about like that? I want to see both of the thumbs. I'll put a dimensional there. Maybe one more up here. And I'm being a mini up there. Being a little heavy on the dimensionals because they're going to hold the string, the green linen thread. So I have the 3 dimensionals on there. And I'll do a double bow. So that's just going to be hanging across the top. But to hold the mittens, take a piece, fold it in half. I think this video is looped a few times here. He's just a busy little boy. Okay. Whew. So for holding the mittens, I took a piece of linen thread, folded in half, and I just made a knot. Nothing fancy. Then set it on here. And I want a little bit hanging out from below. Ooh. So just set this like from the corner there. Because if I remember, I had strings that went through my jacket. I think they need to be up a little bit higher. Yeah, that's okay. And the strings came from this corner by the thumb. Did you all have those strings? So you wouldn't lose your mittens? I think it needs to go a little higher. There, that's better. Now there's some still showing of the string. Okay, so a glue dot under the string. And because I'll put the double bow over the top, I'm not worried about the glue dot being too big. So there's the glue dot. And this can go right about there. So it kind of looks like they're dangling. Okay, those are set. Now, the double bow, that one I'll fold in half. Put it right underneath the knot. Put the double bow on there. I don't want it to be in the way of the words, but I like how it's a little bit abstract down here. Okay, and then to lock it in place, I do just a touch of glue that will dry clear. Okay, so that is set. So it just needs snowflakes and pearls. So here's the pearls. I'll use 3 of the larger ones right there on the crisscross, this one in the middle, and then this one on the crisscross right there. Okay, and then the snowflakes, do it 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put them somewhere safe. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the outside is done. Okay, so for the inside, I'll attach the white paper to the black. Put maybe a little glue above and below the snowflakes. Okay, that looks good. And then dot a glue in each of these holes. And you know, the black paper compared to the sparkly paper is just a little bit different. But once you get the glimmer, the shine of these snowflakes, it's worth the little extra effort. Now hold this up here in just a minute. Then we can make the mittens again, but this time with just a regular little bow, small bow. Okay, so, and the tails will be a little bit long to hold the mittens. There's a little bow. Make it real tiny. Okay. there's the mittens. I'll get them kind of arranged. About like that. Use a dimensional. Lock them together. See if it'll fit right up here. Yeah, you could see it. Hold on. Cut it in half. Half right here. And half on the other one. And that will hold the olive green baker's twine bow. Put one here. I'm trying to get it lined up with this corner where the thumb is. Then so the little bow will need a rolled up glue dot. Put it right under the word friendship. Attach the bow. Boy, the rain is coming down. How about just like that? Okay. Okay, so the inside is done. So I'll attach it. I can make a bunch of these, not too hard. No coloring. Okay, because that has the wet glue on it, I don't want it to touch. But there's the front, and the inside. What do you think? You like it? And I can imagine doing it in lots of colors, anything that's Christmassy or not even Christmassy, and then you could change the colors of the mittens. Be cute in red or in pink or blue. Okay, well, let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching. Okay.